Welcome to the fourth part of the goal setting course. So once you've identified the internal and the external barriers, which is something that we covered in the third part, the next step is tremendously important, where you have to convert all the external barriers into internal. Let me explain this point. So external barriers are all those things which externally can stop you from achieving the goal or can become a barrier. Example, resources are limited, or the boss is not listening to me, or market conditions itself is bad. Now in this step, you have to convert all the external barriers into internal ones. This is a reflection of ownership. When we identify the external barriers, it's a very subtle way of blaming. And even if we do not consider this to be a blame game, you have to understand that the more we blame the external factors, the more helpless or dependent your life gets. So, how do you convert this? So, instead of saying, resources are less, hence I am unable to achieve my goal, or my goal is difficult, you convert it into an internal one by saying, I am unable to find a way out in the existing limited resource. Instead of saying, my boss doesn't listen to me, you now convert that into, I am unable to convince my boss. The benefit of internalizing external barriers is you are in control right now. Else, you are at the mercy of everything else which is external. So as a step, I want you all to write down and convert the external into internal. Once you've converted all of them into internal, now write down the opposite of the barrier, which is nothing but a reflection of the new behavior that you need to demonstrate. For example, if you have an internal barrier which says, I am unable to focus on my work, now gets converted into, I'm now able to focus on my work. External into internal into positive. An example, my boss doesn't listen to me, now gets converted into, I am unable to convince my boss, now gets converted into, I'm now able to find different ways to convince my boss. So eventually, you have a list of all the internal barriers and you make a list of all those new behaviors which are nothing but affirmations or belief statements. In short, I'm going to call it new behaviors that you need to demonstrate to achieve this goal. Once you have an entire list of these new behaviors, now remember, all these behaviors have to be positive. You do not mention it in negative terms. You do not use the words don't and not. It's only where you want to go and how your new behavior is going to be in the positive term and present tense. Once you have an entire list of your belief statements, record it in your cell phone and your laptop, and you're supposed to listen. Now this is very important. You're supposed to listen to all these sentences and visualize your new behavior and do it twice a day, especially in the morning and definitely before you go off to sleep. So every night, what are you doing now? As a practical implementation of the fourth step, you are listening to all the new behaviors that you need to have in you, that you need to demonstrate to achieve this goal, and you're visualizing these new behaviors while you're listening to the audio. It's a proven fact that when you're able to visualize the new behavior, it starts bringing about a chemical change in your body. I'm not saying this is enough to create a new behavior. However, this is a beginning, and this will definitely support your efforts of changing your new behavior. So this is what I want you all to practice as step number 4 as a part of the fourth module of this entire course. And once you do this, I will bring in the next part very soon. In the meanwhile, if you've liked all these videos, do subscribe to my channel to be connected with me and to get a lot of insightful and inspirational videos.